Good afternoon, everyone. Today is December 21st and marks the longest night. The sun will set early, evening comes, and the shadows will lengthen. And it is a reminder that in this season of tinsel and carols and glad tidings, that this season is also really, really hard for many. So I want to offer a reflection on this longest night. Maybe you've heard of Longest Night services, and it's also known as a Blue Christmas, something that Trinity has done for a couple of years. This has been a difficult season for many of us, whether it be COVID, unemployment, separation from loved ones, broken relationships, unmet hopes and expectations, a chaotic political climate, communities and country divided, loneliness and isolation, fear for our future, and mounting depression and anxiety. Now, any of these by themselves can be overwhelming. And so often we put our heads down and carry on. We push through, white-knuckling life as best we can, numbing ourselves to our own most intimate feelings. We busy ourselves with this task or that task, and we isolate and keep our grief, our fear, our frustration, our disappointment and despair to ourselves. Perhaps you have felt that if you were to share your struggles with others, you might feel like a burden or a Scrooge. And really, the last thing anyone should be feeling during this Christmas season is a Scrooge, right? At least that's what we are told or we think. But know this. It is okay not to be okay. It's okay to feel whatever you are feeling this Christmas season. And it can be hard sometimes to find room for our humanity, room for our vulnerability, for the complexity of our experience. All too often we think of the Christmas story as one of great joy and excitement, forgetting that it is the story of an unwed pregnant teenage girl. It's the story of a baby born in a barn, surrounded by smelly animals, with no doctors, no nurses, no midwives, or even loved ones, except for her husband, to oversee the birth, to cut the umbilical cord, to wrap the newborn baby up into soft blankets and offer rest to the weary mother or the hapless father. There's none of that. It's the story of refugees fleeing a murderous empire. And we've done a very good job of sanitizing the story, making it palatable for starry sanctuaries and greeting cards and Christmas songs. And all of that is good. It's enjoyable. But the birth of Christ happened even for those struggling to find peace. Those struggling to find work, to find a home, to find reprieve from their brain chemistry or their illness. And there is room in our Christmas story for fear and for disappointment and for sorrow and for despair. During this Advent season, during worship, we lit candles. Candles of hope and love and joy and peace. And these candles remind us of God's gifts to us, gifts that we celebrate not because we already have them, but because we and our world so desperately need them. We need hope to meet our depression and despair. We need love to meet our disappointment and our frustrations and our loneliness. We need joy to meet our grief and our sorrow. We need peace to meet our poor health and our anger and our fear. And we need a place where we can simply be, where we can be with our own pain and our own suffering and know that we are not alone, that God is with us. God came into this world amidst all the violence, the oppression, and despair. And God sang a song of justice, and she brought forth light and life in the darkness. I want to share with you a blessing by Jan Richardson. And please know, there is nothing you should be right now other than what you are, a child of God. A blessing for this longest night. All throughout these months, as the shadows have lengthened, this blessing has been gathering itself, making ready, preparing for this night. It has practiced walking in the dark, traveling with its eyes closed, feeling its way by memory, by touch, by the pool of the moon, even as it wanes. So believe me when I tell you this blessing will reach you, even if you have not light enough to read it. It will find you even though you cannot see it coming. You will know the moment of its arriving by your release of the breath you have held so long, a loosening of the clenching in your hands, of the clutch around your heart, a thinning of the darkness that had drawn itself around you. This blessing does not mean to take the night away, but it knows its hidden roads, knows the resting spots along the path, knows what it means to travel in the company of a friend. So when this blessing comes, take its hand, get up, set out on the road that you cannot see. This is the night when you can trust that any direction you go, you will be walking toward the dawn. May Christ bless you this day, and it's okay not to be okay. God bless. Amen.